Good morning, everybody. My name is Latoya Lee. My question for the panel is, how do we encourage healthy reproductive choices amongst young women, and how do we start that conversation?
Well, I want to start with the insight I had when I was a graduate student. I am a clinical psychologist by training, and when I was a graduate student at the University of Michigan, I worked in a community health center. And I worked doing community mental health, but I also worked in a community center where I met a lot of young women in high school, many of whom were already mothers, teenage mothers. And one of the things that was very clear to me was that those young women were having babies not because they didn't know how to prevent having babies, but a lot of them were having babies because it seemed like the best alternative to what was available to them. What I mean by that was they weren't imagining themselves as going to college. They didn't expect to be able to do that. They didn't expect to be able to even have a great job. And so the idea of having a baby that would love them and that they could love was actually seen for them as a reasonable alternative. And I remember thinking about how when I was the same age, I would never have willingly gotten pregnant because I knew I had something I was going to be doing. Going to college, having a career, that was going to mess that up for me. Do you know what I mean? And so I think the very first thing we have to do, in addition to providing clear, education about one's body and understanding that, education, of course, about reproduction is important, but I think even more important is a sense of hope about the future. Young people who have hope about the future, more often than not, avoid shortcutting that future by an unintended pregnancy.